Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And pie on my cake.
And tonight, we're talking Mr. Banks. That's right, folks. Tonight, we're going to have a discussion and a shot-by-shot breakdown of the latest Solo, a Star Wars story trailer. And we're going to ask ourselves the bold question, did we clap when we saw it? Or did we want to do first? You guys like that?
Oh, yeah. I applaud it for being different.
I clapped when I saw it.
That is never not going to be funny. That whole video. Anyway.
Okay. So, guys, this has been a long time coming, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that this movie didn't get pushed back till December. I genuinely am.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
I'm just saying, considering what it's up against in the same month, you would imagine it would be later.
What's it up against in the same month?
Well, I'm just saying, in May, not on the same day, I'm just saying within the month, you have Deadpool 2 and you have Infinity War.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying it's going to be a crowded month, even if it's not on the same day. I'm just saying May is
December, the only thing is that they have Mary Poppins Returns, which is definitely not a surefire hit, and if Han Solo was in front of Mary Poppins Returns, it'd probably bury it.
I'm sure the Save Mr. Banks crowd's going to be there. I don't know if the rest of the free world
Okay,
is.
well, Dragon. Hold on. I'm just going to take a wild guess here, all right? I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that the Saving Mr. Banks crowd, maybe not quite as big as the Star Wars crowd.
I think it's an apt summation. Yeah.
No disrespect to Saving Mr. Banks. You know, we love Saving Mr. Banks, but
big fans.
All right, Saving Mr. Banks is definitely an I clapped when I saw it movie.
Me too.
For me, anyways. So, guys, of course, we saw the Super Bowl ad. We won't be dwelling on that, but kind of to compare it to the Super Bowl. Of course, I think the big thing that everyone was worried about with this first trailer was, did they kind of blow their load at the Super Bowl? And I got to say, coming into it, watching it, of course, I thought it was kind of cool the way they did it, where it's like we got a little taste for Solo during the Super Bowl, and we knew that once we woke up this morning, we'd be able to get the full trailer, so it was almost kind of like an early Christmas present. You know, like everyone across the country like woke up like, it's Han Solo trailer day.
Basically, the Super Bowl was the empty box campaign, and then you had, like, what if the next day then Santa Claus came and actually gave you the figures instead of the empty box?
Yeah. So I've got to admit, guys, I want to be more positive about this than I am. I really do, but I'm very mixed. I'm very mixed. There's a lot of things about this that don't sit well with me. I mean, of course, troubled production history aside, which I'm trying to ignore. And he's gone. All right, well, that's okay. We'll try.
Oh, he's a Force ghost. So we'll see him momentarily, I'm sure.
So, Dragon, I guess this will be kind of like I'm the dark side and you're the light side then, because I know that's your standing on it. So, basically, Dragon, my whole thing is that Alden Reich, he's got kind of this Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, where there's moments throughout both the Super Bowl trailer and this trailer that I feel capture Solo perfectly, and I'll kind of highlight which moments I feel do that. But Dragon, I feel like in equal measure, there's moments where I'm just like, oh, that's not right at all. Like that's not even remotely hitting the mark. So, like I said, it's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde where there's, in some spots, I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing, but in other spots, it's just like, I can totally see the whole, like, okay, get this kid an acting coach, stat. And also, I don't know, I'm frustrated by the lack of Lando in the trailers. I really am. We've gotten one glorious shot apiece with Lando. And I really want to see more dialogue from him. And I've got to admit, Dragon, part of me wonders, is that because they had to call in they had to call in the acting coach? Is that like is Donald Glover shockingly even worse than Alden Ehrenreich? I don't know. And also, Dragon, fundamentally, I just kind of feel this movie has sort of a been there, done that premise with the heist, getting the team together. Jeremy Johns kind of pointed out it feels a lot like Guardians.
I don't agree with that Guardians thing. I just want to say there's only one Guardians element of the whole thing, and that would be, yes, there is a Yondu comparison very easily. Yes, aside from that, I don't see the Guardians thing. I really don't.
I mean, honestly, I see a Guardians theme. Like, I see, like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to dwell on that, but I just want, like, I think I'm more in Johnson's corner where I see what he's talking about. So, yeah, I don't know. Visually, I think this movie looks very impressive, and I'm glad to see that, Lord and Miller didn't mess that element of it up at least. Dragon, actually, while we wait for Pi, I think you kind of want to maybe do a riff on Han Solo's coat once you get your overall thoughts out of the way. So just kind of an idea to maybe kill some time.
All right.
Because I know you have some material with that.
All right. But I guess, with my reaction to the trailers we've gotten. So I got to tell you, having watched this...
I clapped when I saw it.
You know what? I think I clapped, but then I realized not a lot of other people are clapping, so I just kind of amped it down. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. Like, I started to clap, but then I kind of questioned it. I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So here's how I'm feeling about it. So again, looking at both trailers, of course, knowing, again, I was completely surprised by it. I think that might have, I don't know how much that has to do with my enjoyment, like just the surprise factors I didn't expect. I don't think many people expected Solo at the Super Bowl because it was like swore up and down we're going to get it Monday, which we did. But it was kind of a mini cherry on, like a maraschino cherry on top, if you will. But anyway, I enjoyed the Super Bowl spot more. If I'm being honest, I enjoyed that more, and that had some more bits of intrigue. I think the trailer was a little better edited, a little more well put together. I don't know. It had a build.
Spot kind of reminded me of the first teaser for Force Awakens, where it's like a few select images, but it really whets our appetite.
That's what I'm saying. I felt more satiated and satisfied with the Super Bowl teaser than I did with the trailer, and that doesn't feel right to me because that teaser, I think I felt tonally what they were going for. And again, it didn't spell things out, but it kind of sold. It sold me on the premise more than this did. And again, I didn't hate this. I want to be clear. I didn't dislike this. I'm just saying, in comparison, I felt. They're kind of showing me two different movies. Is kind of what I'm getting from the teaser and from the trailer here. I'm liking the first one better. I'll say that broadly, and we'll get into reasons why as it goes on. Overall, I'll say with Ehrenreich, I think look-wise, he's more on. I think he looks like a young Han, so I can buy him on look very much so. Which again is what that teaser was also touting very well. Sound-wise, I'm not discouraged yet, but I can definitely see where it can go wrong. What I like, though, in the last moments we're going to see here is I think he's got a few elements of the Harrison Ford Han Solo performance that give me hope. Where he's got that cocky smile and cadence down. That I can see potential in that. If he can tap into that, I think it might just. I think it's a trailer thing so far. I think that's why he's not sounding a lot like Han Solo. And it's we've always just we've heard Harrison Ford and hearing kind of a. We're not hearing a younger impression, which is what I think a lot of people were expecting. We're expecting just kind of like, I guess Harrison Ford sounded like, but hey, he looks younger. But that's kind of. So I'm in the corner of the movie, but I'm just I can definitely see some phrase in the wire, but I'm hoping it's going to hold together.
Okay. Dragon, I got word from Pi. His power went out in his apartment, so.
So he is a Force ghost.
Yes. So he's going to have to join Oscar the Grouch in having a very brief cameo.
Right.
Dragon, since I teased it, though, do you want to give the audience just a taste of your Han Solo coat riff?
So, folks, this is a silly observation because we know of the troubled production history on this. We know Lord and Miller, they were directing the film and they were pulled off because it seemed, according to seemingly, they had more of like kind of a Star Wars fans perspective of doing a Han Solo movie, which again sounds sounds like what a Star Wars fan would want, but at the same time, I think they it sounds like the studio wanted more of kind of we want more of a film before we want a testimony to a character. The point is, now we have Ron Howard working on it, and because of that, we do kind of a Richard Donner thing, where the director gets kicked off the project, and we have a new guy who has to shoot scenes and kind of roll with the edit as it stands. And not all, you can't get rid of all scenes. You're going to have some Richard Lester scenes in your Richard Donner Superman movie, and you just can't cut around that. And looking at it like that, looking at the scene, a thought crossed my mind. Seeing Han Solo in this fur coat here, it's kind of this merkin kind of coat he's wearing here. I'm thinking there's probably a Lord Miller funny gag. There's probably a lot of funny gags from Lord Miller's take on it. And it occurs to me that either there was probably a meeting in the meeting between Han Solo and Chewbacca. There's probably like a bit where Chewie either notices this fur coat and initially he mistakes him for a Wookiee with the hood up or something, or then he's looking at him like, hey, that's a Wookiee coat. What are you doing wearing a Wookiee coat? Like a little like Curb Your Enthusiasm argument between the two, possibly. So I wonder if, like, I'm thinking they might. I think they cut that gag out, but they're probably going to be sidled with he's wearing that coat, and that's my theory behind. There was a gag missing there, and that's why he's wearing the fur coat. Now he's just stuck with the fur coat, leaving us all with these ridiculous theories.
All right. Okay, so Pi is with us in spirit as we move on to. I kind of feel like that's a shame because I feel like Pi was like right in the middle of our two opinions.
Yep.
So, oh well.
Oh, it's not called Star Peace Treaty. It's called Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, so Dragon, I skipped to past the Lucasfilm logo just because the trailer opens the same way as the Super Bowl trailer does, with just like, the whole like, hey, look, folks, we're firing up the Millennium Falcon. We're back. All right, Lucasfilm. Did you clap when you saw the Lucasfilm logo, Dragon?
No, I'm used to it by now. Unless it's on the big screen, it doesn't get a clap from me,
Hey, look, it's Captain Kirk from Star Trek 2009.
Oh, don't be petty.
No, in all seriousness, though, I do like this kind of this car chase setup with the action scene. I like that we haven't really seen a land speeder car chase, Dragon. That's something that that's kind of a new idea. I believe we hit on kind of a note during when we talked about the Super Bowl, kind of like a Star Wars meets Fast and the Furious vibe.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, and this is a carryover from the Super Bowl ad that is still ever present in here, which is something that's still selling me on the movie. I really like kind of the urban land speeder look. We're kind of it's kind of a neat blend. It also kind of speaks to the Ron Howard of it all here, where we have it feels vaguely American Graffiti-esque, which of course is where Ron Howard and Harrison Ford starred in a movie done by George Lucas together on. So it feels kind of almost 50s-esque in just kind of these very vehicular land speeders kind of going around the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good pull.
So I'm really liking that, and I just overall, it's a new. It's like we've seen moments like that teased, and like when the Star Wars films had tried to capture kind of a theme planet, and this feels like a natural way of. I think they finally cracked the code on doing a theme planet just in the trailer.
Yeah, and I also like that we see Han Solo as kind of like, a womanizer, I'm guessing, early on in the movie.
Yeah, and now, right at the get-go in the trailer here, we have some lines by Han here where he's saying they start off, essentially alluding to him starting off as a con artist rogue with aspirations. And what I noticed, basically says, he's been working the street since he was 10. He's been a con artist on the street since he was like a 10-year-old kid. And what I really liked is that alludes to him like Luke. And again, as we know, he goes to the Empire and he went to to flight school. The idea that much like Luke Skywalker, he wanted to be a pilot. So I thought that was, I thought that was really neat, just for seeing kind of a little bit of that reflected in Han, just kind of the dialogue there. So that's kind of a nice little character, kind of reading between the lines character thing I like.
So, Dragon, here's what I'm talking about the Jekyll and Hyde thing. The delivery of I've been running cons on the street since I was 10 doesn't really sound like Han Solo. The delivery of I was kicked out of flight school for having a mind of my own. Dragon, that's perfect Solo right there. Like the inflection, the tone, that's perfect.
And
like,
again,
that's what I want to see. You know
my
what
theory,
I mean?
Yeah, I got you. And again, that stuff is also very in tune with like the big sell point for me in the in the Super Bowl trailer. We don't see it here, but again, we start with like the same opening shot, but then we cut to a different scene. When he says he's kicked out of flight academy, I think how that's going to go is he's interviewing with the Imperial Flight Academy. I think that's what, because I can't imagine there's like the rebellion's in full force at this point. I can't really imagine that. So regardless, I'm thinking he joins up with the Empire because he just wants to fly, doesn't care who it's for, and because he has a problem with authority that kicked him out, and which would lead to the to kind of the big smuggling mission where he can finally be a pilot.
Sure.
So yeah, that's my theory. And again, that whole Empire thing is just the sign. That's my big sell point for the film for me. That's almost like, well, I mean, no, I'm just compared to some other Star Wars stuff. But the point is, that's a good sell for me. I like it. And again, this stuff looks great to me right here. This urban land speeder stuff. It looks cool. And I like the vehicle design. A lot of fun. I'm liking that too.
And then Solo also, we hear the line repeated from the Super Bowl trailer about what is it, Dragon?
You gotta give me something here. What are you looking for?
Oh, he says, shoot. God, I'm drawing a blank. It was a line that they repeated from the Super Bowl trailer. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be a pilot, the best in the galaxy. That line.
There you go.
Okay, Dragon. Here's what bothers me about this. It all comes down to the editing. That line was fine. Like, the inflection wasn't quite there. It didn't quite sound like Harrison Ford, but it does sound like something that he would say in the Solo trailer. But out of context, when we don't know what the line's about, it kind of just sounds like sort of an older Anakin Skywalker. Like, could you imagine young Anakin Skywalker saying that same line, Dragon? Like Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker. I'm sorry, just picture it. Just picture it.
Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker saying,
I'm going to be a pilot. The best in the galaxy.
God.
I want to give credit to Jean Campia because he kind of made that observation. So. I like kind of the boardwalk look of this this set right here. Kind of the pure.
So I'm saying again, we're kind of shaking things up a little. And again, I think we're getting we're exploring other planets aside from just kind of the usual, like kind of like a snow planet, a lava planet,
snow planet,
a sand planet.
Anyways,
like we're shaking it up a little. Again, the casino planet, they were on the right path, but then we just kind of got stymied.
I feel like the casino planet. The problem was the theme was a little too specific.
Like I don't mind that. My problem is like we kind of got sidetracked in the stuff on the casino planet. That's the thing. It's like, okay, I'm loving the casino planet, but we're kind of losing focus here.
Right. Of course.
There's that fur coat. Now, okay, they hold on this. So again, these are the shots that I get, especially in the Super Bowl, but still here. And something you got to give both trailers credit for, but especially that first one. These are the shots. These shots and the editing of this. These are the shots that really give me hope and give me kind of tune me into what I think the theme of the movie is. It's suggesting that we're going to earn those iconic moments. That they're not just going to throw them at us. Like, it's not going to be like, hey, there's a big reference for you. It's not going to be, hey, Boba Fett.
What Red Letter Media was making fun of. Did you see that video, Dragon?
Yeah, I did, and I saw bits. I remember you and I skimmed through the whole thing. Then they had like the version where they actually put the footage in. So that's what they now put up.
But I gotta say, they were pleasantly off the mark with their trailer prediction. Like, they were predicting like, oh, it's on. Oh, I saw the Kessel Run.
Regardless, so that's what I'm saying. I think this trailer, but again, especially the first one, is giving me the impression that we're going to earn those iconic moments. And again, it seems like you're going to invest in Han Solo before you're just like, oh boy, I hope I don't run into that Boba Fett guy. Those sorts of moments. Yeah, there's that build, there's that kind of that heart to where we're exploring the Falcon as if we're exploring it the first time, and that we're kind of we're going through the thing instead of just like, okay, there's the Falcon, what it looks like.
And honestly, if I'm to make a prediction about like the future of bounty hunters and gangsters like Jabba the Hutt, I think that would be more in tune with the Obi-Wan movie on Tatooine that we really want.
I've been pitching that movie for years too.
Yeah. So, like, I really think that'd be like a more appropriate fit for those types of characters.
Now, speaking of that, Tiki, let me speak this on real quick here. Is that I do have a fear, and I was looking at the plot summary for this movie, and this movie is described as a space western. Now, this trailer doesn't really look. There's only one shot in this trailer that really looks like it's a space western to me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is my fear. I'm afraid because I've been pitching, the Obi-Wan movie for years and wanting to see an Obi-Wan movie that essentially is a space western. So I'm hoping they don't get discouraged. Like, hey, we're going to do an Obi-Wan movie. Hey, the Han Solo movie was a space western. Let's not do that with Obi-Wan. I don't want them to.
Right.
It came down. That's my fears. I really hope they're open-minded enough to like, hey, let's do it. Let's do a better western. Or
it's funny that you mentioned it, Dragon, because to me, this very clearly looks like a Star Wars heist movie.
That's what I'm saying. It feels more heist than space western. Again, this is what I'm talking about.
Then again, I guess Rogue One was kind of a heist movie as well.
That was sold as a heist movie. It didn't turn out to really be one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You see what I mean? It's kind of funny in the marketing how they keep kind of doing the opposite on
it's weird, right?
And that's what I'm saying. I just hope that Obi-Wan, regardless of whatever they market it as, I hope it ends up being like essentially it needs to be Shane in space. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be Shane with Obi-Wan on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we're not seeing the Millennium Falcon. It's not teased to us. We're obscuring it a little here, which makes me think, okay, we're not going to give you everything like right off the bat. You guys, you're gonna embrace it. You're gonna experience it. A lot of cones. But there we go. Woody Harrelson, who, of course, we love Woody Harrelson, don't we? Good actor.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. I think casting him is always going to add talent to a movie, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He is a very good pull for someone you could buy, like taught Han Solo everything he knows. As he's playing this character called Becca, and he's the mentor. Unfortunately, in a world post Yondu, the comparisons are going to be very, very obvious. But it's a good character.
I gotta say, I think for me, the comparison isn't quite the Yondu thing. It's more like, hey, we're getting a group together, and they're not quite good guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's thing. Honestly, what it boils down to is just that is such an it's not even just with Yondu. Just you look at cinema; those are some of the great characters. The mentorship relationship, which is so good. And Yondu's like the most recent, most memorable, especially for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, let's say, of an example of that. Like I could point you to another example of a great mentorship story. You look at Bronx Tale with Chaz Palminteri. I mean, that's a beautiful example of the mentorship story. Where it's the kid taken in by the mobster. Where that's a good movie I recommend to everybody. And I've told Tiki this before. It's a lot of good stuff there. So again, it's an age-old story. I just feel Harrelson, I guess, he's the most recent kind of a most recent version of that.
Yeah. I'm not sold on any of these new characters though. Like
I like the droid design. I like the droid design
because it reminds me of Captain Rex. But at the same time, when I say Captain Rex, I don't mean the clone Captain Rex. I mean Captain Rex from Star Tours.
Yeah, there's a good distinction because people are going to be screwed. The diehard Star Wars fans are going to be scratching their heads at that one. That doesn't sound at all like D. Bradley Baker.
No. I mean, you know which Captain Rex I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
the real Captain Rex.
Yes. Well, yeah. Anyway, but also, I'm sorry, real quick, just the tiny, this is said over the scene, is that, Han, it's definitely implied that, he has a history of pulling jobs and heist and smuggling. So that's definitely coming from Harrelson's character's mentorship. He's probably gotten Han involved in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And look, there's a Lando sighting.
This is perfect. It visually, Dragon, it's everything I wanted.
Now, this might be the scene where he's gambling with them. It looks
Oh, I think it might be as well.
he looks all cocky and confident that, oh boy, this guy's never a chance of winning. I'm gonna win I'm gonna keep the Millennium Falcon all to myself. I'm gonna go through the galaxy and pick up ladies and go cape shopping. I'm gonna go cape shopping. Hey Chewie, you wanna go cape shopping with me? It'll be fun.
I do think that what if the scene was on Canto Bight?
That's what I'm saying. You're going to see the scene later on. People have speculated that is a very early Canto Blight, and it is. It has also been said this is Lando starting out. This is way before he kind of settles in on Bespin, before he settles in Cloud City, and the idea. I want to say my approximation, because I don't know if there are comics that explain this or what, but I would assume that Lando and what they're trying to sell here is that Lando's a guy who worked his way up in the galaxy, like a politician almost, where he worked his way up from just kind of like a guy working from the bottom up to eventually, he runs a city, like he's like the unofficial mayor of Cloud City, and then eventually, like he runs like a casino planet with Canto Blight, which again I believe was. I think I've told you, you've heard about this, right? That Lando initially was supposed to run Canto Blight, but they might have deleted. They might have deleted that idea. So regardless, like if Lando was like a regular kind of fixture of like an early Canto Blight, it would make sense that later on he would own Canto Blight.
Yeah, are you sure it's not Canto Bight?
Am I saying Blight?
Yeah, you're saying Blight. You've said it like 4 times.
All right, that's the thing. I think it's Bite, but I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Bite.
That's the thing. Bite just sounds off. I keep wanting to say it's Blight, but I think you're right. Canto Bite. It's yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking Batman Beyond with the Blight character when I see Canto Bite. Sorry. Anyway.
So I like the designs of all these characters. What I'm worried about is that it's going to be kind of like a Rogue One thing where they all have like fun sort of like personalities and but we don't really get to know them all that well. And especially in a movie where this, more so than any other Star Wars movie, is marketed on one specific character.
We'll go back one. So yes, if I'm right, that's the Tandy Newton character, right?
I think so, yeah.
You know what's strange? There is this, because now they've been tapping off the new comics that come out, the Marvel comics like officially in the continuity and stuff of like whatever the movies are doing, and now Disney has the kind of a paragon of that sort of thing. But there was a character who Tandy Newton could have played, who is who famously in this comic again the beginnings of the Star Wars comics I thought were amazing, and did this story where Han Solo had a secret wife that Leia was ticked off about because she
I've heard about this.
I think her name might be Shari or something, but it's no, I'm thinking of Black Panther as a character. Sorry, the point is there's this there's this character. She just comes in, she's like saying, "Han Solo, you're my I'm your wife," and she basically the explanation is that they got married for a scam, for a job, and then it's like she's somehow like she's taking it to heart, and Han has to explain, keep explaining to an angry Leia, "No, I'm not actually married to her." So honestly, initially when she was Tandy Newton was announced as like before her character name was revealed, I was thinking that might be her, but it's not. So it's kind of interesting. Now this character here, I want to say this is the big recasting. Is that I can't verify because again, there's still a little loosey goosey on who's who here, but. This character, I think, is Paul Bettany. I think Paul Bettany is playing this character instead of the previous actor.
Okay.
He was in the RoboCop remake. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think this character might be Paul Bettany.
The race of this creature kind of looks similar to Maz Kanata.
Yeah, I like the multiple hands. That's cool. Now here, there's another shot coming up, but this is like a little westerny. But later on, we get the real western shot. I think that might be.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is the same. This is the same scene with the bat.
Yeah, it might be. It looks like the same lighting.
Yeah.
I don't know what is. Chewie looks good in snow. Hey, and look! I think he's got like there's the mark of the youthful Chewbacca. He's got two belts on.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Got 2 bandoliers, I think.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is a good detail. That's a good catch, Dragon.
Yeah. And again, this is what I'm talking about. I like this design. I like the character that's in this apparently Lando's buddies with this droid here, and this droid might be female actually.
Oh, okay. I'd like that. That'd be nice because we've
Yeah.
never really seen a female droid that's had a major role. Like the only one I can even think of is the one at the beginning of Phantom Menace.
If I'm right, this character's name is L337 as a female. There's a female actress attached to a droid. Well, L337 suggests a droid, so that's what I'm saying there.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you, it'd be great though if they like what the great surprise cameo would be in this movie if somehow we got Lobot. Lando's right-hand man, Lobot. If he saved Lobot's life in his
right.
someday I'll repay this kindness, or something like that. I don't know.
What do you think the chances are that we get a Harrison Ford cameo?
I think it's likely, given the digital strides we made with Princess Leia and Rogue One. I think there's a good chance of it.
Oh well, I'm not even thinking like a cameo as like a digital Han Solo. I'm saying like Harrison Ford is just another character.
What do you mean? Do you mean the actor Harrison Ford playing a different role?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're going to do that.
Not a major role, obviously, but I'm saying like maybe even like a Daniel Craig style thing where he's a stormtrooper or something. I don't know.
I could see him do that, but if anything, I'll bet even money they're going to do at the very end. They're going to do the young effect on Harrison Ford.
God.
Yeah, they're going to use the it's the Lola. It's the Lola effect.
I got to admit though, Dragon, that would be really weird after a whole movie of Ehrenreich, though.
Well, you can't do a whole movie with the young effect on it. So it's too expensive.
No, I know you can't do. Obviously, you can't. But I'm just saying, you wouldn't like with Ehrenreich. You kind of want to have him shine. I don't know.
I'm saying the very end would do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, little salute. Yeah. Now here's what I'm talking. This is what looks like Canto Blight.
And again, I'm still not a fan of this, like, kind of like the gold sort of aesthetic here.
But let me mention this though. Again, it's in both trailers here. The music's doing it for me. John Powell, he's doing the score, but John Williams is doing the main theme. So I don't know if this is the main Williams theme or not, but regardless,
what I like about this theme that we get in the trailer is it kind of reminds me of the theme song for the Clone Wars show, except just better.
Yeah, John Powell, he's done a lot of good scores. He's mainly he's done a lot of score for DreamWorks. He did How to Train Your Dragon.
That's a good one.
He did Shrek. He did El Dorado. He also did Robots, not for DreamWorks, but he did the Robots, which had a good score to it. Yeah. Oh, there's the
Western shot you're talking about, I'm assuming.
Which, of course, they're also pulling from the added scene from the 1997. I think it was 97. The re-release of New Hope when he's going to meet Jabba, and like the weirdly scaled down CG Jabba, and he has the awesome Western shot when he does that.
Right.
That's what they're referencing here. But again, it's an awesome shot.
Also, like, how much do you want to bet that Woody Harrelson is just going to be like, shoot first, kid, always shoot first?
That would be great. It'd be purely for the fans, but it'd be great. But again, I'm really wondering going into this movie, Tiki, I really wonder how much of it actually is going to be a space western, or like if it's going to be the movie that it's promised to be.
Well, like you said, Dragon, I feel like Obi-Wan just fits that mold so much better than Solo does.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. But again, I think just harkening back to how do we describe Han Solo? Well, he's a smuggler. He's a rogue. He's a roughneck. Okay,
the way I kind of differentiate the two is like Han Solo is more of a pirate.
That's the thing, yeah. And you're not wrong.
I don't know about you, Dragon. I'm not really liking this design for the bad guy.
Did you do a close up, or is this the best we see of him here?
Honestly, I think this might be the best we see of him.
Well, again, he has that awesome train fight in the other trailer, so I'm intrigued by him. I like the silver parts of the mask. I think the rest of it's a little overkill, like kind of the horns on the helmet. So I mean, I'm intrigued, but I'm not gaga over him.
Do we know who's playing this guy? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. But yeah, some people have said it looks kind of Kylo Ren-esque with a little visor, and I like the visor look. It's nice.
I guess that's my problem with it, though. It looks a little too Kylo Ren-esque.
You know what's interesting though, and be kind of neat to might be neat to see because again, if we're gonna get any cameo in this film, Tiki, it's got to be Boba Fett. We got to get a Boba Fett cameo in this movie. And you see in the face here, we do have kind of a vague allusion to a T shape with that visor.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying it's Boba Fett by any stretch, but I'm saying there might be there might be some thematic teases to the eventual Boba Fett cameo in the film.
Dragon, do you remember when I pitched you guys that I thought Benicio del Toro was going to be an older Boba Fett?
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like you guys thought it was a good theory.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was wrong about that, wasn't I?
You were. You know what's funny about that droid design? With the head on it, it looks like Hugh Jackman could armor up like the classic Wolverine when he comes out of Weapon X, and basically the best part of X-Men Apocalypse. Where we have the Wolverine scene that does not belong in that movie, but it's a great scene.
Right.
Where he has from the comics and everything, he has the headgear and everything. It looks like it's almost like an Iron Man version of that, where he could just step into that droid and it would armor around him because the head looks exactly like that headpiece. Yeah, a lot of mountains, a lot of snow, a lot of snowy mountains.
I like that it's more hilly than Hoth is, though.
Yeah. Okay, there's a troubling line here. And this sign gives me pause in the movie, not what the girl's saying to him here. So she's
again, just freaking. It looks beautiful, though.
Yeah, it's saying it looks again. That's why I'm not put off of this film at all because I see some definite potential here. But it's kind of scared me in the writing here with this girl is she has this line, this whole this whole "who you are" line, that line. I don't think we really need to ask that question here.
What scares me about this girl is that I feel like she's going to undermine Leia.
I don't think we're going to do that. I think honestly she could get killed off. To be quite frank.
I wouldn't mind that.
That's what I'm saying. They might just again because hey, she's not Leia. So, but regardless. What I'm saying is she has this.
I don't want Han Solo to fall in love with this girl and then retroactively it's like, oh, the reason why he loved Leia is because Leia reminds him of her. That's what scares me.
Here's let me tell you my fears, and I'll tell you how I think they could remedy that. So my fear is that she's this question she's raising, the whole "who are you?" Who you really are. Statement which suggests that hey you're real at the end of the day, Han Solo, you're not a smuggler, you're a nice guy who's going to join the rebellion in the future. That's who you are. And again, I'm not opposed to us seeing hints of Han's future, but I really don't want it to we can't show him at this early in his career to be the altruistic guy. I don't want him to be too altruistic to be a smuggler because that's the whole point of A New Hope. To show that he came back for Luke. I don't want to defeat the purpose of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally get you.
So that's my fear with that line. This is the biggest problem I have with this trilogy. That line really fills me with dread. And I think the only way they can write themselves out is just a guess. Again, they could always subvert and do something completely different. But the only way I can figure that, and that would also remedy the romance thing, is if we kind of end the movie on a noir, like a noir thing, where it's okay, this girl represented a path Han could have taken. She gets killed, and then basically he's it's a dime in a smuggler's life. There's no happy endings for a smuggler. The girl you think you might have a thing for, she gets killed off, and any hope that she was kind of touting off, that's that's gone. So he continues on as a smuggler. I'm not saying just purely because of this girl, but just hey, no, there's you're a criminal. Accept it, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I could really see him kind of pull. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Okay, having said that, Dragon, just take a look at Aaron Reich's facial reactions to this.
Yeah.
So first, he's got that cocky smile. He's got that shitting grin, right?
It's very Han-like.
I agree. And then, Dragon, this is probably my favorite subtle detail in the whole trailer. the fact that the shitting grin goes into like, oh no. I don't know. What do you think? That's very Han Solo to me. Kind of like the, the cocky demeanor, but then sort of like, wait, she's about to call me out on something. I'm in trouble here.
That's what I'm telling you. That's why I see hope in this guy for playing on, because again, one, he looks like him, but he's getting the cadence and the character beats of the guy. It's just the voice is what we're not sure of with him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know if you want to go to it, because it already passed. But we did see the dice in this trailer. We did see the gold dice in this.
Yeah, I'll pass.
All right, well, they're there, folks.
Did you clap when you saw them?
Well, when it was pointed out to me, because I kind of missed it, but it was like, oh my god, there are the dice. That's awesome.
Okay, so again, I can't get enough of this this Star Destroyer coming out of this wormhole or something. It looks
it's like a new. Again, this is what I'm digging about the film too. Is they were seeing kind of things in a new way, in a new light, where we're clouding up the, putting in a cloudy atmosphere. We've never really seen chases through clouds in Star Wars. Well, even in Cloud City, we didn't really have much of that.
No, you're right. You're right.
So here's what I love about it.
I got to admit, this is probably the most worrying delivery of Ehrenreich in the whole trailer, and I think you agree with me.
Well, real quick, let me just say this. What I really love in the construction of this trailer is that we end on Han finally getting to pilot, and we see how good he is at it. So that I'm really loving about that. I want to say that. I think the attitude.
We're fine. It's fine.
The attitude I'm liking the attitude, because again, that's consistent with the attitude. I think is consistent with the Han Solo thing I was kind of saying earlier. But the main reason I'm not put off by it is because it kind of reminds me of the whole kind of one of those classic Hanisms where he's on the phone, or he's on the communicator with in A New Hope when he's decked out like a stormtrooper, and he's saying, "Oh, everything's fine. How are you?" That's kind of yeah, that's what it reminds me of. That's what they're kind of reaching for. And again, I think the cadence is there, so I'm kind of going back to that. So that's why I'm not put off by it.
Yeah, I guess you raise a good point with that.
That's where I'm at on it.
As I told you before we went on air, though, Dragon, to me, it very much has this this Jesse Eisenberg like delivery to me.
It feels like a Jonah Hill 21 Jump Street line.
A little bit, yeah.
I could see it going that way. Again, it feels like might be some leftover Miller and Lord stuff.
I agree. I think out of anything we saw, this might be the thing that feels the most Lord and Miller-esque.
Yeah, it's probably went like Ron.
Go ahead.
It probably went like this. Like Ron Howard, he again, being the nice guy of Hollywood that he is, he goes in there and says, "Okay, let's see what footage we have here. Let's see what we can reshoot." And like, oh, that's fun. I don't want to reshoot that. It's going to take away from that gig. Let's keep it in there. And just then, like Kathleen Kennedy's like, "Are you sure about that?" "Yeah, why not?" All right, keep it in. Darn Ron Howard being so precocious. But
sorry.
Yeah. Darn you autoplay. Darn you to the bowels of heck. But yeah, on the whole, again, I'm feeling the Super Bowl.
I gotta say, Dragon, really quick at the end of this trailer, not a fan of the giant tentacle monster.
Oh, it is obscured, so not.
I'm just saying, do we really need another giant tentacle monster in Star Wars?
Well, you're right about the tentacle monsters have not worked out well for of course it's a big kind of cuttable scene in Rogue One,
well, yeah, it's the big cuttable scene in Force Awakens too.
It's not as bad as in again Rogue One really you really don't need that.
Still drags.
Yeah, but again, it's not bad though.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ.
Regardless, one thing I want to point out that before I forget about one thing with this cloud scene kind of made me think. I'd like to think a good framing device for the movie could be, again, without it being in your face, but it could still be cool. I'd love it if we track the parsecs in the movie again, because we know the line. We know made the Kessel Run under in 12 parsecs. what if, like, that'd be kind of like you can measure that as the acts go on. Like, okay, because we know when we reach 12, that's the big moment to become like a little ticker going through the film. Like, again, the fanboys would know that. Otherwise, you're going through the film. Okay, so we're getting closer and closer to 12. It'd be a nice little framing device. I'd like to see it, but we'll see.
I can't tell if you can see teeth or not in this creature, Dragon.
I see like spikes on the. Is the mouth open? Is there a mouth there?
I can't really tell.
Okay, go through it again slowly. Okay, it's looking. Because I might have saw a tooth. I just want to let it keep going here. Hey, there's
fighting.
Yeah, I forgot that we had a quick little insert of land.
There, that looks kind of like
that's
teeth, right?
Well, see around the edge of the. Well, now it's gone. So that's tentacle. There we go. So that looks like a mouth. Either around the top there's like a little cone-like thing. Looks like a tooth. So it's looking like we reached the center, like the tooth there.
The only reason I bring that up is that it kind of calls to mind Empire Strikes Back a little bit.
That'd be cool.
Like going out of the creature's mouth.
You see,
honestly,
DC,
that'd be kind of like a better selling point would be to see like a giant CGI version of one of those space worms.
Yeah.
Like at first, that's what I thought this creature was until I saw the tentacles, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's not nearly as cool."
There's a Disney being all confident. You see, DC, this is how you do Starro. Aha!
God. All right, final thoughts, Dragon.
Again, I'm gonna like the Super Bowl one a little bit more. Tonally, I think I just kind of hit it just right. This one, though, I'm still intrigued. I'm still seeing it. I could see where it could go off the rails quite easily, but I'm holding on. I'm holding on to some hope. One could say for a new Star Wars movie, a new hope.
Yeah, I want to like it. I want to be excited. I just, there's just kind of like, of course, this general vibe in the air about this movie that's been there for a while, and I feel like this movie's going to have a hard time overcoming that. Like I said, Ehrenreich is kind of like, it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, where there's moments where I feel like he really captures it, but then there's other moments where I just feel like he's way off. So I don't know. I'm very mixed on this. I really have, like, I will say I'm definitely not jumping up and down to see this movie in the same way I am, something like Infinity War or Ready Player One or something like that. So, all right, folks. Thanks for joining us. And I don't know.
Not 11 parsecs, 12 parsecs. Get it right.
Sure. Cool side of the pillow.
How fast is this ship?
Okay, just imagine Billy D. Williams giving Donald Glover lessons on being the cool side of the pillow.
Chewie, have you ever thought about a cape?
All right.